I'm standing by the car, my heart racing. As my husband physically removes his mother from our vehicle, her hand still clinging to the baby's car seat. The sound of her sobbing and apologizing to our newborn still echoes in my ears. How did it come to this? My husband and I had been over the moon. When we found out we were expecting, we decided to move closer to his family, thinking it would be great for our child to have grandparents nearby. I had always gotten along with his mom, or so I thought. As my pregnancy progressed, I began to realize that she saw me as nothing more than a vessel for her grandchild. She wouldn't engage with me, didn't ask about my feelings or well-being, and only seemed to care about the baby. When our little one was born, I extended an olive branch and invited her to the hospital to meet her granddaughter. She was thrilled, but things quickly took a turn. She began talking about me behind my back, saying I was controlling and entitled because my husband and I had decided to combine our last names. The tension between us continued to build, and by the time we brought the baby home, I was exhausted and just wanted some peace. But she wouldn't give it to me. The day we brought the baby home, she flipped out when we asked for some space, and my husband had to spend hours on the phone with her, trying to calm her down. I was shocked and concerned, not just for myself, but for my husband, who had never yelled like that before. The trauma of my labor and the lack of sleep had clearly taken a toll on him. As the weeks went by, things only got worse. She would show up uninvited, expecting to hold the baby and spend time with her, without any regard for my feelings or boundaries. She even had the nerve to throw a baby shower for me, despite my explicitly telling her I didn't want one. And then, there was the time she visited us when the baby was just 2 weeks old, and I had to ask her to leave because I was still recovering from a 4th-degree tear and didn't feel comfortable being alone with her. So when she reached out to us on Sunday, asking to see the baby, I was hesitant. But I agreed, thinking that maybe, just maybe, things would be different this time. We made plans for her to visit us on Tuesday, and I was determined to make it work. But as soon as we arrived at her house, I knew we were in trouble. She didn't even bother to greet us, just dove right in, asking to hold the baby. I tried to hide my discomfort, but it was clear she wasn't interested in talking to us, only in holding our child. The visit was a disaster from start to finish. She didn't support the baby's head, kissed her on the cheek despite our no-kissing rule, and even touched the baby's face without washing her hands. And when the baby started fussing, she became aggressive, shoving a pacifier into her mouth and rocking her violently. I was on edge trying to intervene, but she just got angrier and angrier. Finally, I'd had enough. I took the baby from her, and she exploded, yelling at me, saying I was keeping the baby from her, and that she didn't care about us, only about the baby. I tried to reason with her, explaining that we needed to build trust, but she just wouldn't listen. She kept repeating the same arguments, the same complaints, and I could feel my frustration boiling over. That's when I realized we needed to leave. I told my husband, and we started to make our way out the door. But she followed us, still yelling, still arguing. And when we got to the car, she stopped in front of it, clinging to the baby's car seat, and started telling our child that she was sorry about the parents she had, and that she might never see her again. I was horrified, and my husband stepped in, physically removing her from the car. As we drove away, I felt a mix of emotions, relief, anger, and sadness. I knew I had done what was best for my child, but a part of me wondered if I had been too harsh. My husband still wants our daughter to have a relationship with his mother, but I'm not so sure. I don't want my child to be exposed to this kind of behavior, this kind of toxicity. But at the same time, I don't want to deprive her of a grandmother who, despite her flaws, clearly loves her. So, I'm left with this question. Was I right to cut contact, or am I being too protective? Should I give my daughter's grandmother another chance? Or is it time to set boundaries and prioritize our own well-being? Was I right to stand up for myself and my child? Or was I too harsh?
If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Drop your verdict in the comments below, subscribe for new stories every single day, and hit the notification bell so you never miss one.